So basically, my mother is like one of those people that celebrate Christmas, New Year's, every single holiday there is, whether it's Thanksgiving or whatever it is. She goes everywhere. We go on vacations. On every single vacation, we celebrate it. We take care of every single moment and every single instance that occurs, whether it's Christmas or New Year's or Thanksgiving or all of these things. We fully celebrate them. We fully acknowledge them completely. My stepmother is one of those people whose entire family literally hates every single Christian holiday there is. And if someone, you can now quote the people that live in Ireland, by the way, if someone wishes my father, my dad, the greedy framer, a happy new year, the man would literally call that person back, yell the crap out of that person and say, don't ever wish me a happy new year. Happy New Year is a Christian holiday. Don't ever wish this to me. And my mother is one of those people that literally celebrates Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year, every single holiday there is. And she loves everyone or every race, religion, ethnicity out there, to the point that they had a brain scanner attached to my brain, and all they found was that I love people, every race, religion, ethnicity, and that this thing where they're trying to quote Israr Ahmad. I've never watched a single video of Israr Ahmad except for him going line by line of the Quran verses, only because he would go line by line of it, and he's literally the only person who has. No one else has gone line by line of the Quran. Yes, and the thing that they found from watching me with a brain scanner, by the way, is the fact that after learning about the Quran verse by verse, my love and respect for other religions gained tremendously, rather than lowering in any way, shape, or form possible. What ended up happening was I would learn about other religions and the similarities between Islam and other religions, and my love and respect for them would increase even more as a brain scanner evidence from a time period, by the way, when I had no clue, and the government did not let a single soul have a single clue about a brain scanner even existing at that time period. The brain scanner evidence clearly proved that my love and respect for other religions only increased tremendously after learning verse by verse of the Quran. What ended up happening was I would love Judaism after learning that the day of the Exodus is marked in Islam as the day when people of other religions have to fast as well, just like how it occurs in Judaism. And I would love them, respect them, and feel bad for what they had to go through in Egypt because of what I would learn about from the histories that happened in the past. That evidence, by the way, is evidence for me and against them, basically proving that my mother had taught me to love and respect every single religion out there, to the point that these stories about me, by the way, so the to the point that I would ask my mother that I was going to marry a girl who was Jewish, she would literally love that person and tell me that she would love that person, whether I would even ask her that question at the mall. And I would kind of feel like, man, if I only asked her this question at home. Yes. So my mother is a completely different person from like a person like my dad, the greedy framer, and the brain scanner evidence will clearly prove that she raised me to be that kind of a person. My mother celebrates literally every holiday there is, whether it's Christmas, and I've shown the Christmas pictures from trying to force me to go to him in those videos. It's all in there. Thanksgiving or New Year or any of these holidays. Whereas my dad, the greedy framer, and his family, they would yell at people who would call them and wish them a happy New Year. Is the kind of aggressive, psychotic freak that this man is. And if you don't believe me, you can ask the people that live in Ireland, by the way. So yes, that is the kind of person that he is. Very psychotic, deranged, delusional individual, by the way. So basically, yes, my stepmother, when I was living overseas, by the way, it was a small room in a place that I lived in. That place, by the way, was bought in the year 1996 for only about $25,000, which if you account for if you account for inflation in the year 2026, it would be about $52,000. So in 1996, that place was bought for $25,000. In 2026, that place is worth, in terms of inflation, it's worth $52,000. $25,000 in 1996 is $52,000 this year, which means, not saying that that's the price of the place just saying that the amount of effort it would take to accumulate $25,000 in the year 1996 would be the same as the amount of effort it would take to save up $52,000 in the year 2026, which is literally not that much, considering the fact that I always save more than $10,000 every time I'm deciding to quit my job. So $52,000 for a place to live in is literally not that much at all. So yes, so basically, yeah, so I had a little room in that place, and what ended up happening was, and by the way, I didn't say that $52,000 is how much it's worth. $52,000 is how much effort it would take to make $25,000 in 1996 is the same amount of effort it would take to make $52,000 in the year 2026, accounting for inflation differences, which is not that much at all, considering the fact that I would always have more than $10,000 saved up before I would decide to quit my job. So basically, yes. So it's really not that much. In that place, I lived in while my mother worked at a food line grocery store to help pay for my things. Now they say, oh, he's trying to gain sympathy, this and that. Well, the things, the facts that I said, were they true or not when I was overseas? Did I have food? No, I didn't. Did I have to tutor people for food? Yes, I did. Did I had to steal food? Yes, I did. Did I had to go through full poverty and my mother had to go through hardships while working in a food line grocery store? Yes, she did. So was I lying? No, I wasn't. Are you trying to make claims that are not backed by facts and evidences? Yes, you are. So basically, when I was overseas, my stepmother was a very evil person. She's like this really ugly looking weirdo person. Her jaws are like all sticking out like that. Like her teeth are looking like this. Like this is how her teeth look like. Like you could see like her jaws, like literally when she talks, is how ugly she is, and like her face is like this big blob of like I don't even know what to say, with like the teeth sticking out. Yes. This just trying to give you a picture of what this person looks like. That my dad, the greedy farmer, was asking me if I was willing to sleep with her on March 12th, 2026. What a great parent, by the way. When I was overseas, going through pharmacy school, basically what this woman would do is she knew that my mother worked at a food line grocery store to help pay for my food, and what she would do is she would add acid to my clothes so that my clothes would burn outside in the heat, hot heat, and my clothes are burning outside in the hot heat. And she would literally what she would do is not let my clothes go through the laundry, due to which I developed a ringworm infection and I had to get treatment for it. And then except for that, like in terms of food, like she would just be like, what do we look like, animals to you? We're gonna eat this and you're not. And like literally what she would do is like she would have like these scraps of food that were literally left over for the serfs. There were these people in third world countries that literally live in huts. They don't put their kids through school and they don't have that much money. They only get paid around like $20 a month, and so obviously they live in huts and they barely have enough to get by. And what they do is they just scrap up some food from the places they work at and they eat that for themselves and their kids. And my stepmother would literally give me that, and she would be like, what do we look like, animals to you? You eat what we eat, that's what it is. And basically it was just like leftover food that wasn't even anything in there. It was just spoiled food that was about to go rot, and literally that's what I was given to eat. And I'm sure law enforcement's a witness if they actually saw everything. And then on top of that, my clothes are now going through the laundry. I'm getting ringworm infection due to them. And then on top of that, she's adding acid to my clothes, and she would puncture holes inside my clothes so the holes would grow and it would look really, really bad out in society on clothes that were already not going through laundry, and those clothes were already incredibly dirty, giving me a ringworm infection all over my body. But the ringworm wasn't enough. She would also add acid to it to make my body burn out in the heat. Is how psychotic this woman was. And on top of that, I wouldn't get any food. So basically when I was in pharmacy school and starting off, what ended up happening was people were like bullying me, and I was just like, what ended up happening was people were bullying me and they were harassing me. And so obviously like going through all the abuses at home, and the fact that my mother was working at a food line grocery store, and she literally struggled a lot in order to send me the money that I needed to get by with school. And at that time, she didn't even start sending it to me. Yes. So basically, I got really, really angry. My entire body was drenched in sweat. There's no air conditioning in buses over there. It's extremely hot, and it's filled with acid. My clothes are. They're dirty on top of that. They haven't gone through the laundry in months. They're dirty. They're filled with acid, and then on top of that, she would puncture holes in them, and there was nothing I could say to her. So basically, I got really, really angry at someone, and that was like the first time in my entire life I've ever gotten angry at anyone my entire life. And the facts and evidences will clearly prove that this is exactly what kind of abuse that I was going through. Not only that, she would not let me study. What she would do is if she would find out that I was going through exams, she would just be like, you go to the grocery store, get us these things. We need it. Even though there were serfs over there, you paid them $10 a month, they'll go get it, but she wouldn't pay them, only to annoy me right at my exam time to try to force me to fail. I would have to go through this. They don't call me Cinderella for nothing. The law enforcement does, because they saw all these abuses. So literally what I would do is I would take my iPad and I would study from it, and I would close the lights off, and like right before I would just like kind of hide it in there inside the pillow. So what ended up happening was she would do this, and one time I was going through the exams, right, and when I was going through the exams, I would pretended like there were no exams going on. It was like one of those free times when people are all free and there's nothing going on, by turning off the lights and studying like that and not telling her a thing about my exams. And what she ended up doing was she thought, oh, these are the free times, so maybe if it's free times, he's going outside and hanging out outside some woman's house and waiting for her to come out. Maybe he likes the serfs that work at her house. I don't know. She started this rumor about me, and what she did was she paid some serf like $10. It's all it costs. Like, those people are really poor. And the serf was told to spread rumors about me, that I would go stand outside people's houses and wait for other people's serfs to come out and try to run after them, like, because I was so perverted. And so what it ended up happening was she picked a date and a time, and she said that on this date and on this time, Hassan was standing outside this woman's house and waiting for their serfs to come out because he likes running after them. It just so happens that that date and that time was the day before one of my exams. And so, yeah. And so it's just not possible, because then I just showed the exam schedule. I was like, here's the exam schedule. And it's just not possible. Like, I couldn't stand outside of her house. I did pretty well in that exam. And it was a day before then. And so, like, as soon as I got done with the exams, what I ended up doing was I would go and I would get these notes from, like, the seniors or from, like, above me. And as soon as my exams are done, I'm collecting all these notes, and they're all over my bed. And it looks like I'm going through exams, even though I've just gotten done with exams and I'm totally free now. And she was just like, here's the money. I need these groceries. I need it right now. Go right now. I need these groceries. Go get these right now. We're hungry right now. You have to go. And then so she thought I was going through exams, even though I had just gotten done. So I just I was like, I'll go. It's no problem. I just aced like all my exams right before the end. I was just looking out over the notes for like the next semester. I had no exams at that time. I was like totally free for like the next month. There was like no exams, nothing at all, no tension. I was like, lady, you want me to go to the grocery store? I'll go to the grocery store, okay? And I went over to the grocery store and I bought all the groceries and I brought them. When I was coming back, there was a serf by the name Irshad, and Irshad stops me and she goes, Hassan, come over here. And I was like, yeah, what happened? So I went over to her, and Irshad's like, Hassan, your stepmother was trying to make false testimonies about you, that you stand outside some woman's house and you wait for her serfs to come out, and then you try to run after her serfs, and she picked this date and this time. I was like, that date and that time cannot be possible. It was right before one of my exams. She's like, yes. And she got caught. And the woman whose house she said that you did this with, she found out. So she took out her shoes, and she takes out her shoes and she throws it at the serf, like who was paid to spread all these rumors. And the shoe literally went like hit the wall, like right on the serf's, right by the serf's face. Like, 'cause she was so angry, obviously due to the fact that the fact that it kind of looked like I was running after her, when in fact it was nothing like that. And the rumor spread about her instead of her serfs, and she got ended up getting angry. And the serf that was being paid to make these false testimonies against me, she got yelled a crap out by that woman, obviously. And Irshad told me that story, and it's like, and that her serf got caught with the false testimony, and it's like I went home and I like literally just like I I didn't show any expression, so I just handed her the groceries and the amount of money that was left over. I just went over to my room, and at nighttime she gets the news when that serf came over, and I could hear her yelling and screaming from the kitchen because she just got the news that I just already got in the morning, and I was so happy. Like, these are the kinds of abuses that I went through when I was overseas. I stayed quiet the entire time. Law enforcement will tell you all I did the entire time was literally study, and they scrapped through every single second that I was overseas to only to find out that literally all I did all day long on the weekends was basically study every single second there was. They literally saw that Brain Savant from 9-year-old child was staring at the History Channel logo that they proved on January 20th, 2026 as being exactly like how it started off, to literally evolving over time throughout the entire time I was overseas with their own eyes. Well, after scrapping through every piece of evidence that they had to try to look through it, all they found was that every single second I was getting abused overseas, and all I did was I just stayed quiet and I just minded my own business, and I would just study all day long. And on the weekends, the only thing I took a break for was to watch The Men Who Built America. I really liked Andrew Carnegie in his episode. I really liked his background and the way he worked hard and everything he did in life. It was absolutely phenomenal. And I used to watch that as a piece of inspiration every single weekend, at least once every weekend. Yes, I took that with me over there, and I knew it would definitely help. So yeah, the one time I've ever gotten angry in my entire life, Adamji obviously was told about it. He wouldn't even be there in that bus or anywhere else. He was told about it by law enforcement. He was told by law enforcement, not law enforcement, the person who gets the monthly money every month overseas, to try to exaggerate it and fabricate it, when in fact the facts and evidences will clearly show and prove that not only is Adamji lied about literally every single thing there is, but also the fact that the when I was going home that day, I didn't have food to eat at home, and I was going to be hungry at home again. And this is not a sympathy story. Check with the facts and evidence as if every single second was literally scrapped out right now. Okay, I was going to go home that day, and I wasn't going to have food, and my clothes were all drenched in sweat, and they had acid, and it was burning my entire body, and it had holes all over my clothes. And not only that, I was going to go home that day, and I wasn't going to have food, and the next day I wasn't going to have food either. The only thing I had was water, and that was about it. And I was scraping by that in life in order to get through school, and facts and evidence will clearly prove that. I dreamt a dream, and I just didn't give up. I just kept going and going, and the facts and evidence will clearly prove this. Adamji is a liar, and he's a fabricator. He said with his own mouth, he said, "I'm extremely envious of people like San that live overseas. I wish they could have gotten kicked out of their countries and forced back over to this country. I wish I could have done that to them." Adamji said this with his own mouth, and then throughout the entire month of July, he lied over and over and over again. The same surveillance technology that catches your whispers before it even leaves your voice box and has it from your brain scan is the same piece of technology that caught Adamji throughout the entire month of July. He would whisper more and more, lore, quieter and quieter, and he would still get caught. And then at the end of July, he just got sick and tired. He's like, "Darn it, I'm sick and tired of it." And then what he did was he deceived the courts by playing the game with it. This trial being like, "I've been caught lying a billion times in the month of July." He hasn't. He wants to testify. You have to listen to his testimony. He said he knows his son, and he didn't know me. And Adamji used one text that I sent to someone in pharmacy school on August 7th to make it look like I was dumb, stupid, low IQ, bad exam taker, terrible, preparing for exams, and all these things that his super whispers on August the 7th all got caught with the surveillance technology. So Adamji, of all people, should know that if I was in Antarctica and my ears were fully locked up in Antarctica, that even the whispers coming out of my voice box would have been caught. And so these theories and the things that Adamji is trying to make about me, it cannot be true in any way, shape, or form. It's not possible. I'm not playing benefit of the doubt over here like, oh, I'm innocent because there's no evidence again. No. It's impossible for Adam G to be right, not because he's lied a billion times throughout the entire month of July and caught with the same technology, but due to the fact that Adam G had only had this technology used on him in the month of July. For me, every single second with this technology overseas is all on file, with these Brain Savant being so locked up with this technology from satellite that my Brain Savant would be locked up like how it is right now, and even a whisper coming out of my voice box with the brain scan of my brain thinking about that whisper would be on record that they scrapped over right now to find evidence of me being aggressive, sexually perverted, or a drug addict, and they found absolutely nothing of that sort of nature. Clearly proven from facts and evidence is that these people are absolute liars and fabricators, and they're only doing this because their own people are getting badly humiliated and rejected by these older women their mother's age, and they want me to help them scam these girls living alone by having them hear about court chatter about my Brain Savant being literally the most rare and profitable in the world, as the courts came to a conclusion on August 20th, 2:25 p.m. when Kelly touched my tongue and made my rectum feel wet. The courts came to this conclusion, due to which we know for a fact that this is what the reason is that they're trying to find fault in me, or something that they could make fun of me about, or something of that sort of nature, make something look like nothing look like something out there, when in fact the facts and evidences are all there from every single second I was overseas, and all it showed that was that I had a keenness and eagerness for learning, and that's literally all I did all day long. Just study all day long, just stare into that iPad all day night long, just study all day night long. And the only thing I took a break for on the weekends was watch Andrew Carnegie on The Men Who Built America, and literally that was it. Like, autistic people, we tend to watch something over and over again in our minds. It's not uncommon for us to be like that. Yes, same episode every single weekend. That's literally the only difference, the only thing I took a break for. So yes, that's all I had to say.